Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinamati Ma Vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Translation: let us be together. Let us nourish ourselves together. Let us create energy together. Let us grow in energy together. Let there be no ill feelings amongst us. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. The world is more divided than ever. Globalization is dead, nationalism is on the rise, and it's me first everywhere. At least that's what our headlines have us believe. While we are here at Me2We. And yet somehow I feel both the narratives have something amiss. What if I told you it's always been a we? Let me show you how. Let's start with my journey here. I discovered about the auditions for today's shots while on my trip to Egypt. The one thing that stayed with me from that trip is how similar we've become as a society in our likes, dislikes, interests, aspirations, and our habits. The universality of this experience stayed with me, and I decided to talk about it in my auditions. Now, somehow, all the communications with regards to my shortlist went into my spam, and I only discovered 2 weeks back that I was selected. Not sure if I was still on, and not wanting to miss Me2We, I decided to write to Lillian asking her, if it's too late now to say sorry, 'cause I don't want to be missing Me2We. To which Lillian replied, it's too late to apologize. It's too late. To which I said, please. She said, make us an offer we can't refuse. I said, I'll do whatever it takes. She said, okay, you're on. Assuming I was through the obstacles, I got to preparing, only to find out that my passport had expired as well. Now, don't worry, I haven't climbed a wall to be here. The reason I'm here standing in front of you is because of the collective action of many. Everybody from the passport officer, the local cops, my family, friends, and the 100,000 gods they prayed to and shot. I'm standing right here. Now, I know my personal story is anecdotal and may not be relevant for everyone, so let's go to something more relatable. Let's move to our story. If you think about it, it's nothing short of a miracle that us, the puny little bipedal Homo sapiens, survived the hostile environment we were born in. What made this miracle happen was our unique ability to communicate, but more importantly, leverage that for collective action. We would have been but a drop of water evaporated by the wrath of time had it not been for this ability. Today, we are an ocean of us, 7 billion of us. It's probably a problem at this point. So now you may say that, hey, this is years back, this is ancient history, and does not hold relevant at a time when languages have evolved, nationalities have come in, and so has culture. So let's look at a few cultural examples. Let's start with an example from India. This is the famous Indian footballer from the Indian state of Kerala, Leonardo Messi. Just kidding. It is Lionel Messi from Argentina, but he's loved by the state of Kerala like he's one of their own. They have cutouts of him everywhere. One of them is even a tourist attraction on Google Maps. Right? Or let's go to a more global phenomenon, the BTS. If I told you 8 decades back that a Korean band would be most consumed in Japan, would you believe me? In fact, 90% of the viewership comes from parts of the world that don't even understand the language that they sing in, right? And talking about language, Jungkook from the boy band was heard listening to Natu Natu from the Indian movie RRR, which was initially made in Telugu, dubbed in the language of Hindi, released on Netflix with subtitles, and grew to global acclaim because of its ability to connect with the most primal human instincts, right? Now, you may say it's only culture, so let's talk about learning. Millions of others, millions and me included, have learned from masters like Andrew Huberman from Stanford, David Sinclair from Harvard, Wim Hof, Sadhguru, and Yi Yang He about various skills in life. The problems they talk about are universal, and the solutions they're giving are universal, and hence they have the following that they have. In fact, let's look at any moment that has turned into a movement, any individual that has turned to a leader. It has only happened when they have understood that it's only together we can make things happen. Now, I know entertainment, culture, and I'm in GSB, so I should be able to show you guys the money. So let's talk about business. Two commonly asked questions to business founders are, what is your TAM, total addressable market, and how do you plan to scale your product? Essentially, both these questions are asking you, how universal is the problems that you're solving, right? And some of the biggest companies of our time have understood that. Let's look at the FANG companies, right? Facebook solves for the human need for connection. Amazon solves for the human need for instant gratification. Apple solves for the human need of convenience and prestige. Netflix solves for the human need to be entertained. And Google solves for the human inquisitiveness. Let's look at startups. Startups that have gone through boom and bust cycles and survived are the ones that are solving a problem that is applicable to human beings at large. Now, you may say businesses have profit motive. They will always find a way to make things happen. So let's look at a more unifying example, the pandemic, right? The COVID-19 pandemic was the first example in our living times where we realized, however individualistic we may choose to be, our fate as humanity is collective, right? We were all collectively locked down. And what got us together is a complex global supply chain where everyone did their part. The failure of one would have meant the failure of all of us. And you may say the pandemic is a once-in-a-lifetime event, but there are other problems staring at us as well, which are applicable to all of us, whether it's reducing attention spans. I see some of you looking at your phones already. Whether it is the mental health pandemic, which is 1 in 3 of us have mental health issues, or it is global warming. They're all problems that need our collective acknowledgement and our collective application to solve them. There's another Sanskrit saying that goes like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family, an eccentric family, but one family nonetheless. And it came way before the term globalization was coined, and probably came from the understanding that our successes and failures as humanity, as society, are interlinked. There's a quote from a popular leader as well, the most unifying leaders of our time as I see it. We are one, you and I, like the earth and sky, one family under the sun. All the courage to lead, all the wisdom that you need, you will find when you see we are one. The quote is from Simba from Lion King 2. But the message still holds true, right? It has never been a me. We may choose to divide ourselves for a convenience or for our own agendas. But it has never been a me. It never needs to be moving from me to we. It has always been a we. It's just that we have been looking at the mirror from the wrong direction. Thank you. Thank you so much.